Right then, just over a year ago, we purchased this 2-litre Amarok from a salvage website for just less than £4,000. Since then, we've took it off-roading and abused the absolute death out of it.
Miller.
Oh, you've cracked it.
Along the way, we have done quite a few upgrades to this. We've lifted it, it's got 34-inch mud tyres. We've got a custom tray back on there, put a front locker in there. It already had a centre and a rear locker. We've got 2 winches, front and rear, tent box, some storage, snorkel, rock sliders, underbody protection, all the usual stuff that you'd want to do to a car if you were abusing it off-road. And then finally, after several months of abuse, Luke, hi Luke, drove it back from an off-road day and snapped the Cambelt.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Amarok's currently being towed backwards by a tractor and we're going to have to abandon it.
Which leads us to today and the reason why we're putting in this freshly built engine. So let's rewind a few months and we'll go back to before we built the engine. As you can see, it is still dead. There is still no engine. I think the last video we did on the Scraparok, Rob was doing it. We did a bit of a walkthrough with some different engine possibilities. We discussed internally whether it was worth doing a conversion with an M57 engine, 2.5 litre engine, 1.9 TDI engine. Quite a lot of you did comment that you wanted us to do 1.9, but I think we are already invested in rebuilding this 2-litre. So I think Rob mentioned what we're kind of hoping for is to build this 2-litre to have the same characteristics, the low down torque and power of a stock 3-litre engine. So as you can see behind me, I've got lots of parts all laid out that's going to be used to rebuild it. So yeah, we've got a lot of replacement parts, some of the original parts, CP3 fuel pump on there. We've got the machined pistons and coated pistons. We've got some race cams, standard alternator and things like that. Injectors. We'll put the full spec of what we're putting into this build in the description and on the spec list on the website. But yeah, got plenty of parts to be getting on with. First job though, get the pistons in, measure the piston gap. So, snug as a bug in a rug. Anyway, rather than waffle on, I'm just gonna let Luke crack on with the engine build. We'll time lapse it all. So sit back, relax, enjoy the time lapse. So hopefully you've been enjoying the time lapse. It's now Saturday, it's pretty quiet in here. So I thought I'd do a quick update on the Amarok engine. So Luke's been busy. All the head is pretty much built up now. We've got the CP3 pump on there, the oil cooler, adapter plate, everything's been cleaned up as we've been going along because everything was absolutely filthy. So that's looking good. We now have the hybrid turbo all built up. We've got some nice coating on here. It's a little bit harlequin at the minute because these are just samples from a supplier that we've used for the coating. So we've got, I think, 3 different coatings on there, all high temperature. We've got some laser etching on there as well for Darkside logo. So it looks pretty good. Interesting to see what power that is going to make. Yeah, a few bits still spread around. Some bits are old, not going to be reusing them. So yeah, not too far now. with a bit of luck, early next week, this should all be back together and we can get it in the Amarok and on the dyno. So stay tuned and we'll check back in soon. So it's actually been quite a while since we've been able to get this back in the workshop. We've got the Amarok engine fully built up now. Luke's just putting the flywheel on there. Something that we are going to be doing to this that is new, I don't think we mentioned it, is the clutch disc and pressure plate. So this is going to have a Uni Clutch in there. Because we are now running this nice hybrid turbo, CP3 fuel pump, etc. The torque is going to be significantly higher than stock, so we've gone for the track one. This has got upgraded internals. If you're not sure what the Uni Clutch is, it's quite a unique design in terms of the clutch and pressure plate. This works with the standard flywheel, and basically it's kind of a, well, Uni Clutch means Uni one size fits all, so it's quite a universal kit. There's different fittings and stuff like that that you can get for this to adapt it to different vehicles, different flywheels, etc. But like I said, we're going for the track kit. It should be rated well above what this is going to be running. Fingers crossed, because we don't really want to be taking the gearbox back out to swap that again. And then yeah, hopefully by the end of this week, that engine is going to be in that space, and then we can finally get it on the dyno, see what power figures this is going to do, and then, because it's kind of getting into the winter, we're at the back end of the race season now, there's going to be less track days, there's going to be less racing, and that's when we do more off-roading. So this is going to be back on the road, ready for some serious off-roading this winter. So let's get the engine in. So, while Luke continues with the engine installation, thought we'd have a look at another upgrade that we've been wanting to do for quite a while. Makes sense to do this while we've got all the front end off. This is a winch bumper. This is the AQM one. I believe we've fitted one of these to a customer's car in the past. Very similar to the other one that we've got on our Amarok, which is the rival one. But let's get it open and let's have a look what we're going to be fitting. Comes with some lights. I realised that we probably wouldn't have left this package outside to get wet. Finally got it unpackaged, took quite a while. Very well packaged, by the way, so this has come from somewhere in Europe. It's come undamaged, so that's good. I think it's going to look pretty good once it's all fitted. Need to, I think that just pops out, yeah. Pop that out for the winch, don't need that. We've got a winch plate. It is going to mean we're going to have to take the winch plate that we've got fitted at the minute off. This ties with the side brackets, and I'm pretty sure it's quite structural to it all. As we mentioned as we were unpacking it, didn't realise this came with the lights, so that's good that they're included. They'll just get fitted either side, and we'll wire those up to the aux beam controller. Something that Rob's just pointed out that might make this a little bit difficult to fit is the fact that we've done a body lift on the Amarok. So this and the brackets and the winch plate and everything will bolt to the chassis, but because we've lifted the body 50mm higher than the chassis, it means this is probably not going to line up. So it's going to need some modification. Not 100% sure what at the minute, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure it out. So we'll let Luke finish the engine off and then we'll get cracking with this front bumper. Another quick interjection on the Scraparok before I go away for a week. So I'm hoping by the time I get back off holiday, this is gonna be pretty much finished, fingers crossed. I don't think we mentioned previously when we got all the bits out for this, but we've fitted an alloy radiator. It's larger than the original. We originally bought this radiator for the V12 Amarok project. This needs it first, so we've ended up pinching it. We fitted it to this. The intercooler is one of our own 3-litre Amarok intercoolers. As you see, it all fits together nicely. The only difference between the 3 litres and the 2 litres is the size of the end tanks. So it just means we're gonna have to make some custom pipe work up from the turbo and the intake to the intercooler. Last push, fingers crossed, next week when I'm back, they should all be back together. The bumper on, we should be able to put a few miles on it, test it, get it on the dyno, see what power it does, and then end of October, we're heading to Wales for a camp out with Grit Outdoors, which should be good. It's going to be very cold, but I think we're going to be doing a bit of learning on the Sunday. So fingers crossed this is ready for then. See you in about a week. So I'm back, hopefully looking a little bit more tanned than before I went on holiday. There's been a little bit of progress on the Amarok, not as much as we'd have hoped for, but obviously the workshop is quite busy. We've got customer cars to deal with first, which are a priority, and then this kind of gets worked on in between all that stuff. Progress has been made. We've just got Mark over here now to try and fit the front bumper. We mentioned before, because we've done a body lift on it, the original mounting points of the chassis legs are obsolete, so they're not going to work. So we're going to have to fabricate some new mounts to mount the bumper. And then while I've been away as well, we've got some custom boost pipes on there. I get Adam to put some B-roll on of those. And Luke's made a start of mounting the oil cooler. So that's going to go just behind there. And then what we've got planned is, rather than putting some lights in this front bumper, I think we're going to 3D print a nice little air duct which will duct air directly to the oil cooler. So I think we're pretty much caught up with what we've done. Oh, Luke's also done the brake lines. We've got some braided brake lines on there as well now. We're going to have to put some arches on this. The front bumper is designed for the 3-litre, which have got slightly wider wings on, so we're going to have to change that because they don't line up on the sides. But I'll let Mark crack on. We'll get this mounted and then we'll have a look. And then, I said this last week, but fingers crossed by end of next week, we should have this all running, started, and then we can get it on dyno for some power. finally, the Amarok is pretty much done. Obviously by now, you've probably already seen the first start up. We've got the bumper on there, that's all fully secure. We've got the winch on there, that's all working. You're probably wondering why we've got the original wheels and tyres that came with the car on there, and that's because we reckon that like the 34-inch mud tyres are just going to sap all the power on the dyno, so it's not really going to give us an accurate power figure. So we put those on there, the standard all-terrains, that should give us a more accurate reading. I've just looked back at what footage we've got for this video, and it's probably going to be quite long. There's been a lot happening with the engine build on this, so we're going to split up this video. This is going to be the end for this video, and then the next one is going to be us putting it on the dyno and seeing what power it does. So if you want to see what power the Amarok is going to do with all the new mods, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel. But in the meantime, please click like for this button. We'll see you in the next one. Please click like for this video.